Hello class, my name is Jamie and I am here to introduce to you an overview of the legalization of recreational marijuana in California. However, in order to understand how California got to approve the legalization of marijuana, we should delve into a brief overview of the history of marijuana in California. So, marijuana, number one, is a highly stigmatized drug, and this stigmatization came from the reefer madness propaganda, which started in the late 1800s, and this affiliated marijuana with the Black and Latinx communities of the nation. Further regulation of marijuana came with the 1937 Marijuana Tax Act, which federally made consumption and buying of marijuana a federal crime. It wasn't until 1996 that the Proposition 215 allowed for medicinal marijuana to be legal in the state of California. Let me say that again. 1996's Proposition 215 made it legal for medical marijuana to be consumed and sold in California. So, it wasn't until November 8th, 2016 that Proposition 64 was introduced onto the ballot, and this proposition stated that any adult 21 years and older could partake in the recreational usage of marijuana. Recreational refers to the usage of a psychoactive drug for pleasure purposes, not medicinal purposes. And there were two new taxes that were introduced with the policy, which I will discuss further in the later slides. Even though it was introduced onto the ballot in 2016, recreational sale and taxation weren't enacted until January 1st, 2018. If you see here on this graph or on this chart, we see who voted yes, the number of people who voted yes, and the number of people who voted no. 57.13% of voters voted yes on the proposition legalizing marijuana in California. So, opposition stemmed again from the stigmatized view of marijuana. It is a Schedule I drug and it is highly criminalized, so of course people are going to view this drug as negative. Also, parents feared that their children would have easier access to the marijuana flower and concentrate. And concentrate is kind of hard to distinguish between like regular chocolate per se or concentrated chocolate, because it is in an edible form. So children may not be able to distinguish the two. Support came from, one, the high proposal that billions of tax dollars would promote the California economy, and the taxes I will again talk about in a little bit. And adults also just felt that people should have the free will to use marijuana either recreationally or medicinally. Here is a ballot summary taken directly from the 2016 ballot. Again, legalized adults 21 years or older to partake in recreational usage of marijuana. It designated state agencies to license and regulate marijuana industries. So this means that dispensaries need to have a state-issued license. If they do not, their practice can be considered or is considered illegal, and the employees can be punished. Imposes state excise tax of 15% on retail sales on marijuana, and this directly affects buyers. Sellers must have this retail tax to put into act with the proposition. Also, state cultivation taxes on marijuana of $9.25 per ounce of flowers and $2.75 per ounce of leaves, and this is a tax that affects the farms and the dispensaries, not the dispensaries and buyers. This establishes packaging, labeling, advertising, and marketing standards and restrictions for marijuana products. So this means that all weed, all flower, all concentrate has to be prepackaged and cannot be tampered with. It also prohibits marketing and advertising marijuana directly to minors. It allows local regulation and taxation of marijuana, and it authorizes resentencing and destruction of records for prior marijuana convictions. And again, this just shows that marijuana is being decriminalized in California. So there are further regulations for consumers of marijuana. Proposition 64 regulated where one could smoke. So one cannot smoke in public areas. They cannot. unless it is on a state licensed property and if that property allows you and gives you the permission to smoke on their property. Also, you have to be 1,000 feet away from either a school, daycare, or a youth center. If you are found anywhere nearer, you will get punished with an infraction you will be fined. Either or. It also says that you cannot smoke and drive, and the person who is with you on the passenger side cannot have an open canister of weed on them. That would result in an infraction and a fine as well. Proposition 64 regulated how much weed one could possess. If you are on your own private property, you can smoke your own weed and you can have more than an ounce of weed on you. However, if you are in public, you can either only have 28.5 grams of flour or 8 grams of concentrate of weed. If you have any more, you will again be punished and fined. So this is the overview of the regulation of marijuana. I hope that I educated you guys efficiently, and I hope you guys have a great 420. Thank you.